Ferrari were a real mixed bag in 2022. To begin with, they were amazing. Then they were faltering, and then they were just very disappointing. Obviously, things needed to change, and they have in a big way. I know you know about Mattia Binotto leaving already, but there is more going on than just that, so don't go anywhere. With the 2023 season looming large, everyone wants to know what the cars are going to be like. There have been changes to the technical regulations, but the biggest differences will come from the development of the cars. With roughly 3 months to go until the start of the season, some surprising leaks have come out of Ferrari. Everyone knew that something at Ferrari needed to change. They couldn't continue repeating the years of disappointment and falling short. This is Ferrari after all. They are the poster boys of Formula 1, even if they haven't won a title in 14 years now. People expect more from the team. Their past success makes people demand more of them. That past success weighs heavy on those who take on the challenge of taming the prancing horse though, and for Mattia, that weight got too much. Obviously, he resigned, but was it by choice? Did he decide the job was just too hard and just said, F this? Or was he strongly encouraged to go so Ferrari didn't have to bear the embarrassment of firing someone they put in the job to bring stability? We're pretty sure you can work out that one for yourselves. But like I said earlier, there's more going on at Ferrari than just a change at the top. You might be thinking, why make any changes? Sure, they made some strategy mistakes and the engine exploded a few times, quite literally in Carlos Sainz's case. But those are fixable mistakes, and they were quick, right? Wrong. Ferrari's Formula 1 car was never quite as good as it looked at times in 2022, with the Scuderia's stunning start to the season creating a false impression of the team's overall potential. That is the opinion of respected technical analyst Craig Scarborough, who believes Red Bull's stuttering start to the year flattered the Ferrari F175. Ferrari seemed to be the overwhelming favourites to claim the 2022 title after Charles Leclerc won 2 of the opening 3 races to establish a 46-point lead over Max Verstappen, who retired in Bahrain and Australia. Scarb said, Ferrari won the Winter Championship, as they so often do, and we're always like, are they really good? And we got to those first races and Red Bull were having problems. Everyone else was having worse problems, and Ferrari looked like they had it sussed. They had this stunning looking car, qualified really strongly, held off Verstappen in the races until reliability got in the way. Things were looking great and we suddenly thought this is Ferrari's year at long last. He's right, that's exactly what we all thought. Just look back at the videos from the start of the season on our channel. But Scarbs goes on to say that it wasn't actually Ferrari making themselves look good, it was everyone else being so bad. In the interesting interview, he points to the lack of downforce the car created as the root of their tyre management problem, and when they tried to fix that, they created too much drag and were too slow. I actually think Ferrari flattered to deceive very early in the season. I don't think that car was ever quite as good as we thought it was, and by the time Red Bull got their car worked out, really it was only qualifying when that Ferrari shone. So what do they need to do to sort themselves out? Well, sorting out their appalling engine would be a good start. Some spectacular and costly engine failures earlier in the campaign, including Charles Leclerc's blow-ups in Spain and Baku, plus Carlos Sainz's fiery exit in Austria, had prompted the need for a fix. That fix was started this season. The weak element in the power unit had been singled out as the spark plug within the pre-chamber. I won't go into the painfully complex reasons as to why this was the problem, because I don't quite understand them myself. The engine problem for dummies answer is that the spark plug got too hot and went bang. Well, that problem is now fixed, and information is leaking out that the Ferrari engine is going to be a bomb in 2023. Not in the same way it was in 2022, in the bomb kind of way. With the problem fixed, the Ferrari engine can now be used at its highest settings, unlike for much of 2022. This has set the squad up for maximum performance from its engine in 2023, which could boost the title hopes of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, as well as the form of its customer teams Haas and Alfa Romeo. It is actually the boss of one of those teams, Gunther Steiner, who's given away the fact that the Ferrari engine could be a serious problem for their competitors in 2023. On Thursday, I met Mattia Binotto, and he told me that next season's engine will be the bomb, he said. In Emilia-Romagna, there is a lot of support for Ferrari, and if the engine, is competitive, it will be positive for us too. Plenty of people, including us, have said that the Ferrari engine is the standout of the 4 on the grid, assuming they can get it running consistently. With the engine's performance being homologated throughout 2022, The only changes that can be made is to their reliability, giving Ferrari plenty of space to grow and improve. Something Mercedes, for example, will not be able to do. Like we said earlier though, it isn't just their engine that's been a problem in 2023. Their aero design hasn't been perfect either. They either had too much drag or not enough downforce, and never found a perfect midpoint that may not have even existed. It isn't a secret that Red Bull have had the best aero concept on the grid this year. They absolutely nailed the new technical regulations, creating a low drag, high downforce design that in Max Verstappen's hands was as good as unbeatable. Well, in the recent leaks from Ferrari, it appears they've been taking notes. The major regulation change for 2023 is the raising of the minimum floor edge height by 15mm. This will allow more air under the car, reducing the Venturi effect and therefore the downforce generation. Ferrari are making changes to their side pod contouring to more closely match Red Bull's. The change will alter how the air flows over the side pods, generating a powerful downwash that will protect the raised floor from those troublesome infiltrations. The changes will also help to add more power to the vortices along the floor edge that will help seal the underfloor. These changes will lead to a clear difference in the aero behavior of the car. The car should now generate a more powerful and extended depression map thanks to less air infiltrating the underfloor compared to 2022, despite the rise in ride height. You can see in the animation how much more air was able to infiltrate the underside of the car in 2022 than will in 2023. The outcome is much more downforce generation over a greater area, shown by the red on the animation. Like we said earlier, a big part of Ferrari's problem this year was its inability to balance drag and downforce, but the team will hope that the changes will fix that problem. If it works, then Ferrari should be able to work their tyres much better without having to sacrifice too much top speed. It was of course Red Bull who first implemented this style of side pod, and many of the teams chose to copy parts of it throughout the year. They came to the solution first, in part thanks to their suspension system. They used a push rod suspension system at the rear of the car, meaning their dampers were all on top of the suspension system. What this meant for Red Bull was that with some clever packing, they could make more space for the Venturi tunnels at the back of the car. This meant that their ground effect worked far better than many of the other cars on the grid. This is where Ferrari might hit a stumbling block. While copying Red Bull is all well and good, Ferrari use a pull rod suspension system at the back of their car, meaning they can't make the space for a larger Venturi tunnel like Red Bull have. It isn't all bad news for Ferrari though. While the bonnet and sides aren't designed to reduce the volume of the car, they do give space to the gearbox with a less extreme and tight shape than Red Bull's. The bigger space available allows Ferrari to arrange their suspension in such a way that the dampers are much lower in the car than Red Bull's. The lower center of gravity helps their stability and will be beneficial if they can catch up their lap time to the Red Bull's. If these leaks are true, then Ferrari could actually mount a challenge against Red Bull in 2023. No matter how good the car is though, there are still other problems at Ferrari that need fixing, and the new team principal, whoever that ends up being, will have a massive job on their hands to match the expectations of a fan base still living in the 2000s. Want to know more about what's going on in Formula 1? Then click the link on your screen and I'll see you there.